before the age of the dinosaurs, a race of fearsome reptiles ruled the land. All but a few perished in the greatest extinction of all time. The Earth still bears the mark of their deadly dynasty. Things thrive here among the barren buttes and mesas of the Karoo Basin in South Africa. Nearly 2,000 square miles of sun-scorched earth. This place is no Garden of Eden. But 250 million years ago, there was another Karoo, teeming with life. Laced with meandering rivers and swampy marshlands, this was a fertile floodplain. Summers were long and hot, winters short and wet. One day, during the rainy season, a river overflowed its banks. Muddy water spilled across the plain, dumping sand and silt in its wake. Eventually, the river returned to normal. In low-lying areas, floodwater collected in small pools and ponds, attracting wildlife. Over the following week, pools became puddles, and the land quickly dried. But not before local residents left their marks in the soft sediments. The sun baked their footprints hard as rock. Then within days, a second flood permanently sealed the tracks beneath another layer of sandstone. 250 million years later, erosion would finally expose the footprints to creatures of the 20th century. For paleontologist Roger Smith of the South African Museum, the tracks are like snapshots from the dawn of time. They capture a fleeting glimpse of the world just before the age of the dinosaurs. So fine are these floodplain sediments that they preserve the signature of an entire menagerie no longer of this earth. From the ghostly trails left by tiny burrowing worms to the splayed footprints of huge lumbering beasts. Many of the track's creators have been identified through fossil finds. One ancient trail took Roger Smith on a journey back in time.
I first saw it early in the morning with low-angle lights, and I really could feel that I was part of an ancient environment. It made my flesh curl. It made my hair stand on end. I went down into the trackways and put my 4 limbs into the 4 footprints, and I could feel what it was like to be a Dinocephalian. Now here we have a superb trackway of a Dinocephalian. This was a large, lumbering, mammal-like reptile, and we know from the body fossils that it had long, straight toes, and it was about 2.5 meters long. So I wanted to try and demonstrate how the trackway can show us how this animal walked. The The front foot would come down 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'd swing its body through to put down the 5th digit, and 1, 2, 3, 4, swing its body through, 5th digit down and through.
Despite the sound of its name, the Dinocephalian was no dinosaur, not even a dinosaur ancestor. It was just one of the many strange reptiles that flourished during the Permian Age that began around 300 million years ago. Previously, life had flourished mostly in the water. Only amphibians and a few primitive reptiles had ventured onto solid ground. During the Permian, all that would change. This would be the age of the reptiles. They evolved into countless species that thrived on land. For the first time, most of the Earth's surface was colonized. Yet few places preserve any record of this age. South Africa is a rare exception.
Okay, I'm going to try and lever the skull off the rock face with my fingers. If it doesn't move, I'm going to then have to hammer it out. But we'll try and just, it's a slight movement. It's going to come. It's coming. I can feel it move. Nice, that's out. Okay.
Few untrained eyes would have spotted the tiny skull. The specimen is called Kysticephalus, or boxhead. Like the Dicynodon, it is one more representative of a reptilian revolution. During the Permian Age, one group of reptiles underwent great changes. They became more and more like mammals. These mammal-like reptiles evolved a more upright stance and a metabolism that was probably more warm-blooded, but perhaps their greatest advance appears in their teeth. In early reptiles, teeth were all the same size and shape, but mammal-like reptiles evolved differentiated teeth for specialized tasks like shredding, slicing, and grinding. This change in dentition allowed some mammal-like reptiles, like this cow-sized Brachiocephalus, to become the first terrestrial herbivores.